Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a MasterThatGear video on a guitar I've been playing a lot recently, which is this guitar here. This is a Fender Stratocaster and it's a classic player 60s model. Just at the end of last year I had intense Strat gas. I just suddenly really had an urge to get a Strat. I mean, I've always kind of ignored them actually since I started playing. But for some reason last year I just had this urge to get a Strat. Maybe I'm getting old or something, I don't know. So I had a look around and I had an idea of what I wanted. I wanted a bit more of a kind of vintage vibe rather than some kind of new Strat. Plus there was budget constraints as well. I wasn't going to spend a lot of cash on something that I might not, kind of got on with. So I had a lot researched about, and the Classic Player series actually caught my eye. And the reason for that was they're quite, obviously they're very vintage looking guitars. It's all 60s kind of spec body shape and the scratch plate and everything. You've got the screw here in the middle. 21 frets, aged, nice mint guard here, and there's aged white plastics and stuff and pickups. But it has some kind of modern tweaks to it. But these retail for about £700 new. But I was very lucky to spot one in eBay from Rich Tone Music. I managed to pick this up for £370, which was a bit of a steal, a bit jammy. And it's a great guitar for that amount of money. As I mentioned, there's some slight modern tweaks that kind of led me in the direction of getting a classic player. And that's, one, the radius in the fingerboard is a 12-inch radius. Now that's one of the things about Strats. Because I played basically Ibanez guitar. I played a wizard neck for like the first 10 years of playing the guitar, so I'm really used to kind of flat kind of radius on a neck. And when I've played kind of really old, 7.25-inch radius Strats and stuff, it just feels kind of weird. So the 12-inch radius is quite a nice kind of go-between. It's not purely flat, obviously, because it's 12-inch. One of my other guitars has got a compound radius from 10 to 14-inch, so I'm very kind of comfortable with that. 9.5 might have been, just probably would have been okay, but the fact that this is 12 was quite nice. The other thing, of course, is we've got a 2-point trim here. Now this is one of the things about this guitar. This is actually a custom shop designed guitar. It's a Mexican Strat, but there's lots of these little kind of nice kind of design tweaks, and one of the ones is this a 2-point trim, which is really, really cool for. I tend to set the trim up floating, so get really nice kind of action with it, really nice and bouncy, and really a great thing about the guitar as well is it keeps its tune really well, which you might not get in some really high-end guitars, would you believe? So that was one other great little tweak. The pickups, as I mentioned, you've probably seen in the kind of demo jam, are custom shop designed, or custom shop 69. Now there's a lot of kind of talk about online, are they made in the custom shop, blah blah, but I think basically they're actually wound in the Mexican factory. This is a 2009 model, but they were launched in 2006, and in 2006 they were still getting kind of signed by Abigail, I forget her full name, some Strat geeks out there will be able to get her name, but they're kind of highly sought after, the early ones, because there was slightly kind of better tweaks on them. Now I've actually done quite a few little mods to this since I got it. As I said, it's a great guitar for the money, but a couple of things. First off, the edges of the fingerboard were really sharp and you could feel the fret ends. Now if you're used to playing really well-made guitars, that's a big kind of thing that you notice. And I finally just decided to get a fret file and a screwdriver and whatever, and just rounded these the fingerboard edge and the fret edges myself, so it's a nice kind of smooth kind of feel now. The neck itself is a good nice kind of chunky C shape. There's a lacquer finish on it. Thankfully it's not too sticky, so it's kind of all that. Again, that's kind of 60s vibe. 21 frets, as I mentioned before. Medium jumbo frets. The Rosewood board in this is quite a pale one, but that's fine, that doesn't bother me really. So that's one of the tweaks I did, basically made the fingerboard a bit more comfortable. Also the grub screws in the saddles It's Fender saddles are in here, so there's nice steel saddles in here, but the grub screws were too long, so I changed them for shorter ones so it wasn't, you know, digging a hole in my hand with my rest of my hand here. I've also changed the block, the back. This came with a zinc block, which was fine, but one of my mates, he changed this block in his Strat, and I was curious just to see, so I managed to get this off eBay for, I think it was a £25 or something. It wasn't very much at all. Nice steel block, and swapped it out. There was a difference, but it wasn't a huge dramatic difference in my opinion. I think it helped with the sustain a little bit more. Maybe it's a little bit punchier, but it wasn't like a, you know, a massive kind of change. Another tweak I've done is, you know, the original Strats. You know, this tone control was really just for the middle pickup. I've wired it up now so it'll affect the bridge pickup as well, so it's a really common kind of Strat mod, because these pickups might be a little bit bright for some people. I wanted it just as another little option to kind of tame things. If I've got maybe a bit more gain, I might want to just roll that back, just to soften it up a little bit. Maybe, if you will, get more of a kind of humbucker vibe to it. But I've done that mod as well. So I'm pretty chuffed with this. It's a great sounding guitar. It's a great feeling guitar actually. You know, as I said, I had to do a couple of tweaks to it. But for the money, it's a really, really good, I mean, there's really, really good bang for buck second hand, a classic Player 60. You can get them in different colours as well, Candied Red and a Sunburst. Of course, I've got this lovely kind of Sonic Blue. So if you're looking in the market for a Strat, but you don't want to spend loads of money, and you want a little bit more of that kind of vintage vibe, I definitely recommend you check out the classic Player 60. It's really one of the best kind of Mexican made Strats that you can get. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. If you're looking to check one out, hopefully you get a little bit more information for it. But stay tuned, I'm going to actually be doing a major mod to this, so keep an eye out on the channel for what I'm going to do. So until then, have fun.